Hey guys, so welcome to another personalized educational video by Ethix Ltd. If you're not sure what Ethix Ltd is, that is a company where myself, Snake, Konasty FPV, and Onigiri and Trappy have all got together, and we're trying to refine FPV as much as possible and make it as easy as possible for you guys to have a good experience when you do end up buying products, or finding a formula that works for what your needs are. And all of these things are subjective, but all of the people involved with Ethix have been doing this for years and years and years, and we try to give you our most experienced collaborative advice so that you can make the best decisions going forward with FPV. So today I wanted to clear up a tiny bit of confusion as far as where the Ethix content is coming from, because Ethix is a company where we are refining FPV, but at the same time we're trying to give back as much as possible through these educational videos from our experienced pilots. And how you find that is kind of confusing, because some people are like, oh well, there's no YouTube channel, how do you find it? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a video every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the week. Tuesdays are alternating between all of our pilots and all of the people involved with Ethix, so Onigiri FPV, Snake FPV, Konasty FPV, and myself, Mr. Steele. Trappy is kind of our businessman and makes things happen in China. So other than that, those are where the channels are going to be, or those are where the videos are going to be. But if you don't want to subscribe to everybody and wait for, videos to come out sporadically, there is a schedule to it. But if you don't want to worry about that, you can just go to ethixltd.com, where we have the Ethix Bible, or the FPV Bible, which is kind of like everything you would possibly need to know to get into FPV and have a good experience from the beginning, so that you know all the do's and don'ts, kind of. I mean, it's a very comprehensive document that I myself created with the help of all the other guys in Ethix. And yeah, ethixltd.com, you can check that out. We're going to be posting all of our videos, all of our Instagram feeds go there, so if you want to check up on our what we're doing as far as video content is concerned, or even just pictures are concerned, it's all going to be posted up there. There's going to be a blog starting soon. We may need some help with that, so if any of you guys are interested, that would be awesome. Just kind of send us an email. There is an email contact list on ethixltd.com. And yeah, other than that, let's go ahead and get started with this educational segment. So today I wanted to talk to you about, specifically, there are two things in FPV, and I think this kind of correlates with a lot of things in life, but specifically FPV. I have a Venn diagram, and I know I spelled Venn wrong in one of my other videos. It's not V-I-N, it's V-E-N-N. So a Venn diagram, essentially, for people that don't know what that is, it's two circles. One of them has a topic, one of them has a topic, and sometimes those two topics interlace, and when you get that interlacing, that would be considered like the sweet spot, or where these two maybe controversial different things are interlinking, and it's actually like the spot you want to be. So but it's rare that you actually get those interlacing, those two subjects to interlace. So anyways, the two subjects I'm going to talk about today, one is epic locations versus fun FPV flying. So there are two things that I think people kind of correlate with FPV, and they assume that epic locations are fun, and then just flying in the woods is fun, but not as fun as flying epic locations. Now, when I'm talking about an epic location, for example, flying the Haiku Stairs in Hawaii would be considered an epic location for me. Flying the Great Wall of China would be considered an epic location for me. And it can even get to a point where it might just be, it's not crazy as far as an epic location, like you just might be on a random beach somewhere, or you might be, in this set of trees, but because of the time of year and because of where the sun is, all of these things can make it an epic location. So like, if it's fall in the southeastern, northeastern United States, and you got all these deciduous trees that are changing colors and everything's all crazy, and then it's golden hour and you have this hue of golden light coming in and making everything look amazing, then that may be considered an epic location. Whereas if you flew that in the wintertime when there's just scraggle and it's cold and the sun is just directly overhead and you're shooting in 60 FPS and you're getting jello, that might not be considered an epic location. So you can see how it varies depending on what might be, it's subjective to everybody, but you know, in general, golden hour in a pretty decent location can be an epic location. And on the other side, there's just fun FPV. Now, fun to me is going out and just having fun with your friends and burning a bunch of packs. Now, I can go out with 10 people, and that, you know, that would be subjective as well, because I can go fly with 10 people, but I'm not going to get to fly as much. It may have been fun, but it might not have been fun FPV because I'm not flying as much as I would have if I were just with 3 people. And that's a weird thing about FPV. You think big groups would get together, but it's usually segmented into 3 to 5 people at most, because of how sporadic it is to be able to get 3 to 5 people in the air. You know, if you have 2-3 people in the air, it's fine, even up on 800 milliwatts or a watt even. But if you start getting into 4 or 5 people, depending on the channels that people are on, it can be a little hairy as far as who's landing and when people are landing, and if you're going to lose video or not, depending where your patch is pointed. So all of that can take away or add to the fun depending on the amount of people. So for me, an epic location, like I said, would be like the Great Wall of China, and a fun location for me would be like, you know, the trailer park or something, where it's a location that I know really well. I can go there with my friends, I can fly a lot of packs and have fun and not really crash as much. But I will say that crashing is part of the fun. Like, sometimes you just go out and you crash a few times and it's fun. Sometimes you go out and crash 30-50 times and it's fun as well. Sometimes when that happens, I don't have fun when I'm crashing a lot, but usually it's some kind of hardware issue, like maybe a camera has more latency than it should, or I have an issue with something, but it hasn't happened in a long time. But yeah, usually if you're having a bad day and you're trying something new, it's probably because you're trying something new and it has different latencies. So keep that in mind when you're going out and having a good day and you're crashing a lot and you're like, what's going on? So anyways, fun location. Could just be going out flying at your local park. Epic location, Great Wall of China. Now, when do those two interlace, and why would they interlace, and why is that cool? So why an epic location wouldn't be considered a fun location is because the Great Wall of China, flying there was terrifying. I mean, if you go down at all, if you lose RSSI, if you lose video, anything, the quad is gone. You're losing your GoPro, you're losing the entire quad. Now, for a lot of people, a quad is about maybe $300 to $600, depending on where you're buying it, what parts you're buying, and then a GoPro is depending on where you got it or how much you got it for. If you got it Dick's for 75 bucks, and you know, it may not be that big of a deal. But the Session is kind of going out of style, and they're not being sold anymore, so they're harder to find, so they're considered endangered. But all of that being said, you're going to lose some money if you lose a quad, and it's never a good day because depending on where you lose it, like if you lose it in the woods, you could technically find it with enough looking. But are you willing to, are you going to be there long enough to be able to go out and find this quad? So if you lose it in the ocean, obviously it's pretty much done, so you can just write it off. Now, that's nerve-wracking when you're flying in an epic location and you're getting epic footage. You may not have as much fun as you think you're gonna have in the actual moment. Now, when you go review the footage later and you're like freaking out because it's amazing, then yeah, that's a different story. But in the actual moment of flying, it's not as fun as you might think, and it's pretty much most of the time terrifying. I knew when I flew the Haiku Stairs in Hawaii, I was shaking like the whole time. It was absolutely terrifying. Yeah, it was really cool, but I didn't want to fly again because I knew it was like, you know, you got the quad back, let's just call it, because something possibly could happen next. You get cocky, and it's not cool. So no one wants to lose a quad. Now, the fun location, you can just go out and crash and do whatever you want. You're not risking losing a quad, so you can push and have fun and push and like get better as a pilot. Epic locations, you're just training your nerves basically. So when do they interlace? For instance, recently I had a place there I went. It was a plantation in Louisiana, and I got to hang out with some of the local guys, Jason and Efi and Hank and Jared, and all these really awesome dudes that live in New Orleans. And we went to this plantation, and when I got there, I was like, oh, you know, it looks kind of cool. Whatever, it may not be fun. I mean, it looks fun, but it may not be. I wouldn't consider epic. As soon as I started flying, the sun kind of popped right down into this golden hour, started illuminating the clouds, and I just had a fantastic time. and it looked really cool on video, and I would consider it an epic location because it was kind of quintessential southeastern United States, an old plantation home with, you know, that sunset, and it had some weird stuff like the porta potties over there that I was, you know, bouncing off of that I didn't expect to have fun with. So all of that stuff was one of those that led to being one of those locations where it was a really fun location, but I would consider it epic as well. Now, it may have been more on the fun side than the epic side, but it was definitely close to the center where those two interlace. Now, if you guys have any questions or you have any locations that you've had in the past where you can find a location that fits perfectly in the center of that Venn diagram between epic location and fun location, please list those in the description below because I'd love to hear about them. I know for me, epic and fun very rarely correlate, and it is subjective onto what you consider to be epic and what you consider to be fun. So please, if you guys have any comments, if you have any questions for me about videos that you want to see in the future about me talk about, or you want to see anyone in Ethix talk about, you can go and you can write us in the comments below. You can write us via email on ethixltd.com. We're going to be trying to do live streams. We haven't figured out a platform yet. Maybe Twitch, maybe YouTube, but we want to do these really cool things where we'll get on Velocidrone, but you guys will actually be flying, and then we'll be kind of doing a podcast in the background and highlighting the people that are flying in the party. I don't know if this sounds like a cool idea, then maybe even we'll bring the people that we thought were the coolest from the previous session of the week before onto the podcast, which is like a live video. It's not really a podcast, it's just like a live stream. Bring them on there and have them talk to us and ask us questions. So if you guys think that's a cool idea and you want to see that, to give this video a thumbs up, go check out ethixltd.com. We do have a couple products right now. If you want, check out the products section, and if you have any questions, again, put them in the comment section below. And thank you guys for watching. I hope this was an entertaining and interesting video. Bye.
Smoke is soaking up, son. You think I'm done? I've just begun. Giant on the mic, they're calling me Paul Bunyan. Yakking on some perp and sipping on some soda. Tell me that I'm fresh, I'm like, no duh.